it's so important to know this before you actually start doing ayahuasca or take a journey with it.
Yes. So what you need to know before starting your ayahuasca journey.
Okay, let's start. Hey Earthlings.
Hello everybody.
After nearly 2 months, we are coming back with a topic that's related to why we've been away, which is plant medicine and integration.
We went on a deep ayahuasca journey.
Yeah.
And it was very transformative, and we learned so much.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to share some of the information with you. For those of you who maybe haven't done it before, or have done it but didn't maybe have a super good experience.
Yeah. And really, it helped us so much. Like, I so wish somebody told me what we know right now.
This is the start of something new. This is the start of something magical. This is the start of something new. This is the start of something true.
So when you are deciding to embark on this journey, and you're choosing where to do it, it is super important that you choose the facilitators carefully.
Mm-hmm.
It is important that they have been initiated into the tradition, and there are many different traditions.
Yeah.
We have experience mainly with the Shipibo tradition.
Mm-hmm. And each tradition have a different focus. Some of them focus on uplifting the vibe and bringing more good vibes. Some tradition like the Shipibo focus on healing and kicking out entities and doing cosmic surgeries and soul surgery, which
it's really soul retrieval.
Yeah, indeed. So this is what we feel the most called to do.
So number one, it's important that they are initiated into the tradition, that this person they're not just ordering the medicine from online, but that they actually know what they're doing, because there are important things that the facilitator needs to understand when working with this plant. And also when they're initiated, they have also been through their own healing journey.
Mm-hmm. You can't skip that.
You cannot, yeah.
Yeah.
And that they know how to make the medicine themselves, preferably they have prepared the medicine that you're taking, or they know very well the person who did, so they know exactly what's in it and what was the intention making that medicine. And
that has a huge impact on the medicine and your journey if you're taking it with somebody who's been with the medicine from the beginning, from collecting the medicine, from processing it and serving it to you.
Right. And also in the Shipibo tradition, they don't usually facilitate. What was told to us that is usually max 6 people per person, and that's already quite a high number. That's for someone who is advanced. Yeah. And then we see these ceremonies where there is maybe 20 people for one facilitator.
Yeah. So
one
that's
curandero.
A red flag.
Yeah, I mean, it can still be a transformative experience, but that person is not going to be able to really attend to you and your journey.
Mm-hmm. And also it's important when you do such a healing journey with the curandero, you need to really feel into it. Like, are they about really helping humanity, or are they more like about personal power, or they want to be better than other shamans, or they want to be more successful, or they want to make money so they buy a fancier car or fancier smartwatch and all these material things. So here where you can really discern if the curanderos are there for their own mission, for their own true calling of helping humanity. And one of the indicator also the number of people who participate, how much money they charge. If it's like completely high priced out of not accessible for an average person to attend. And the curanderos that we work with, they also offer rates that are affordable for anybody, and they also do a donation-based retreat.
So shaman being anybody who works with the medicine and can connect to the other dimensions. However, many people actually work with entities, and sometimes even dark entities, asking for favors in order to help the person or to achieve something. And this is not what you want. You never really want to work with. You don't want to make any pacts with any entities.
Yeah, you don't want this entanglement, for sure.
And the true healer, which is called curandero in Spanish, would be someone who works with the light, with source frequency, with love frequency to achieve healing. Maybe with angelic energies.
If you're interested in getting to know the curanderos we work with in Europe, send us a message and we are happy to share the contact with you. Another point is the diet. So if the curandero is really true to his path, they will ask you to stick to a diet for at least a week, in many cases 2 weeks, especially if you're in an unhealthy diet. So this diet will be basically plant-based diet without salt, without sugar, without alcohol, without meat, of course plant-based, and without oil, so, which is can be really tough if you're on an unhealthy diet. It can be transformative. So the actual journey and actual transformation starts from the time you say, yes, I'm going to take this medicine, and the confirmation will be the dieting. So through curanderos, they will actually encourage you and require that you follow the diet. And that's a test for your discipline.
Yeah, so this serves two purposes at least. When you cleanse your diet, your body will begin the process of cleansing, and this will make the medicine more powerful, and you don't have to necessarily spend so much time purging physical toxins. And it also serves the purpose of centering your mind, letting go of excess stimulation so that you can become more sensitive, that you can feel yourself more.
Yeah.
So that being said, any way that you can basically purify your body and your energy field will benefit your journey. Not excessively, but if you can gently, for example, do some fasting beforehand, some weeks before already, so that you're cleansing your body, doing social media fasting.
Wow, that's so important because it has such a negative impact in your mind and your spirit. And it serves a role in disconnecting us from real reality. So if you can fast on that would be amazing, and at least not use it in the 1 week before the medicine. So that will prepare you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to dive in this journey. And it doesn't mean also if you don't follow it that you will not have healing experience. You will still have it, but it will work maybe on a more superficial level. But if you really follow the guidance of the true curanderos with the fasting, social media fasting, food, and etc., it will take you way deeper. And we saw it in many friends who took the medicine, or clients even, that when they haven't take seriously the dieting before the journey, before the ceremony, their cleansing and their healing was more on a superficial level that more involved the body, sometimes the emotion, but they haven't got the chance to go to the spiritual surgery where things on a really deep level changes. So our recommendation is to really follow the diet at least 1 or 2 weeks before.
So the goal here is to really cease and reduce consumption, and the consumption can be food, it can be energetic, so that you can reduce stimulation and get more attuned to yourself. And when you're more attuned and centered and can feel more, you can go deeper, and you will be able to perceive things in a more clear way on the journey.
In the retreat we had, our curanderos offered us tobacco ceremony before and cambo.
And both of these medicines are purgatives. So the idea again here is that before we went into the ayahuasca, we had 2 evenings of really, intensively cleansing and purging the physical body, which meant that, when we went into the ayahuasca, we didn't experience any, physical purging.
Yeah.
So it might be a good idea, especially if you have not done a lot of cleansing physically in your life, or you've been eating the kind of the Western diet, standard diet. It can be a good idea to maybe have a cambo ceremony or something like that before you go into ayahuasca.
And I know so many of you are already healer and have been in touch with many entities and many great spirits, and you might trust yourself that you can do ayahuasca alone, but I really strongly recommend you not to do that, because in this realm you open a huge portal for everything to come in. And sometimes you're not fully aware of what's happening in your reality because we are multidimensional beings. So here where it comes the rule of the curanderos to protect this portal and to make you secure. And that's so important for your healing if you want to go to the next level, to really trust. Because at those journey you might be confronted with shadows in yourself. So if there is no external protection that block or protect you from any external entities, you will be confused if this is yours or something from the external. And that was so impactful for me to be able to trust the curanderos we work with, because they held such a safe container for us. So whatever shadows come to me in the ceremony, I was sure that this is coming from my past, from my trauma, and so on.
Right, and also our curanderos, they shared with us that they have had to clean so many people from entities and unwanted energies that came in because they took psychedelics alone in an unprotected space. Because as long as you're not mastering the medicine, once you master a medicine, you can do that. But if you haven't mastered it, you will not be aware of all the different things happening and where it is your trauma, where you're getting distracted or maybe sometimes pulled into, contracts that you don't want to have.
Yeah, and this is why I want to mention to people who do psychedelic in a festival setting, that's such a bad idea,
idea.
guys. Yeah, so
Bad
bad
idea.
idea. And you might have seen our video about mushroom and San Pedro, and you might think, oh, it's a good idea to take it myself with the preparation that Ram and Mia suggested, which is actually really important anyway, so you can watch it in this video here. But now, learning what we learned, we actually advise you, if you want to take it with somebody who actually initiated in those medicine, whether it's San Pedro or mushroom. It's not enough, even with magic mushroom, to take it with without guidance and without proper protection.
Especially when you take heroic doses, which means you leave this dimension.
Yeah.
You might not even be in your body. How are you going to protect your vehicle?
Yeah, and we
You
saw.
are not. You won't.
Yeah, it's impossible. And we saw so many people, they think they reach like higher dimension, and they're full of entities. And by the way, guys, have you taken ayahuasca before? We'd love to hear your experience. How was it for you? And if not, if you're thinking to take it after watching this video or whatever you think about this plant medicine, we'd love to see and read your experience. And if you have any question, let us know in the comment below.
I want to mention that some curanderos don't receive women to their ceremonies when they are menstruating. And I have heard some people say that this is because they are macho culture, so they don't think women are dirty and something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true. That's not the reason. So the reason for this is because the menstrual blood holds the energy of creation. And it is so powerful in and of itself that it can completely take over the ceremonial space, and it can kind of influence and distort the visions and images that other people get, as well as completely block the curandero from their connecting to the medicine and singing. Not because it's something bad about the menstruation, it's because it's so powerful. So this might be an interesting point for you to consider, first of all, for women, that you don't go into ceremony when you're menstruating, and just respecting, the power of your own cycle and respecting other people's journeys to not take over. And also maybe asking if they have this, guideline, because then there might be other women in the space who are menstruating, impacting your ceremony. So this is just something that we don't have a lot of experience in, but we talked with our curanderos, and they definitely see this impact. So
yeah, and also I want to mention that not all ayahuasca traditions follow this specific guidance, and I believe it has to do with the deep work that Shabibu tribe are doing, and I think this is not only with our curanderos, but all the Shabibu tribe follow that. So that's something worth mentioning.
Yeah. All right. Lastly, there is some spiritual, mental, emotional preparation that you can do beforehand in order to have a really profound journey and to not get totally overwhelmed in the ceremony or driven by fear. It is important that you are able to be present with your emotions and that you're able to meditate.
Yeah.
Meditate meaning just able to witness what is happening.
Yeah. Meditation, it can be hindering your process if you use it to cope with the emotion that you're feeling. So we are talking here about meditation in a way where you can observe your emotion, observe what's happening, and allow it to flow. So that's what the kind of present we're talking about, not the meditation where you focus and go somewhere and
when you go into the ceremony, you really need to let go of all other practices. But what we mean with meditation, it's just the ability to kind of focus and center your awareness, so that you're not all over the place.
So I would call it maybe presence.
Presence.
And it helps a lot if you have done inner work, if you have done trauma healing, if you have done inner child work. That will help you so much, because all the space would feel familiar if you have experienced jumping in other dimensions, jumping in the past to rescue your inner child or Earthlight. The ayahuasca space will be more familiar to you.
Yeah, so it will help you a lot if you are at least a little bit in touch with your trauma. So, and all of us have trauma. So if you're not constantly living in your highest alignment, there is something in your shadow that it helps a lot if you can become aware of those things beforehand. So when something comes up in the ayahuasca, you're not completely, overwhelmed and not understanding what is happening, but you can link it to, this is the feeling I used to have as a child, or this is the traumatic experience I had that I'm called to heal. It's important that you understand that you're going into this with your free will, and the medicine works with your free will. So you're not just going there and waiting that the medicine does things to you. It's working with you and with your intention and your focus. So sometimes people just expect to go into a ceremony and the medicine to fix things for them.
Yeah.
This
so,
is not how it works.
Yeah. So some people put like general intention. Oh, help me heal. And the medicine were like, okay, there's so many of you need to be healed. Where to start? So you really need to be precise on which exactly you want help and support with, and use your free will to choose. Okay, I'm willing to change myself in this criteria. I'm willing to change my habits. I'm willing to change my whatever there is in your life to change. So this way, the medicine can work with you. So you need to be willing to change. You need to be willing to trust yourself. You need to be willing to really set an intention and work with it in the ceremony. And this was my experience, where the medicine showed me like, okay, if you really want to heal that, your life will change and it can be painful. And I had to say yes to that, despite the potential pain, which might not happen if you are in a true alignment path.
This is part of the preparation diet as well. It's a way of saying, I'm willing to do my part. I'm willing to, challenge myself and make a sacrifice by not eating all the delicious things for my own healing. So I'm willing to do my part.
Yeah.
And afterwards, it's a lot about integration. So you need to be willing to not only go there with a strong intention, clear intention, but to know that afterwards you will need to continue the work. You will be integrating a lot of puzzle pieces in your life and making practical changes in your life.
Yeah. The integration part is so important, and we have been working 2 months on that already. And if you also need help and support in that, don't hesitate to reach to us.
And when you go into the ceremony, it's okay to be afraid. It's even a bit healthy because you're going into something, that is intense, and it can bring up your fears. You might face things that you've been avoiding all your life. But remember that ayahuasca really is vibration of love, and all the other things that come up that are scary, that are painful, is your own stuff that is being highlighted, brought to the surface to be healed and released. So remember that the medicine is with you, and you can talk to it, and you can ask for clarity and support. So we're gonna keep making videos about plant medicines, healing, community, lifestyle. So subscribe if you haven't done so yet, so you don't miss the content.
And if you want to see more from us, here's a playlist about the stomach, healing, and integration and plant medicine. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for being with us.
Love you guys. Bye bye.